welcome to Knit 1, Heart 2.
Heart 2. I usually don't say it with you. I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the show.
And we do have some new viewers coming up. Like, they're catching up.
We do.
They're catching up.
If you are a return viewer, welcome back.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Let's see, some shout-outs. Couple of knit-alongs. We were doing variegated yarns, and I need you to help me swoosh two things into the chatter thread. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to swoosh either. We'll figure it out.
Okay. We're doing variegated knit-alongs.
Yeah?
Yeah, variegated yarn. Sorry.
Variegated yarn is the
knit-along, crochet-along.
Knit-along.
Spinning does not count in this one.
No, but spinning counts in the Blue Moon Fiber Arts one.
Absolutely, which we're also doing. That can also be a knit-along, crochet-along. And anything that's Blue Moon Fiber Arts, whether it's Socks That Rock, BFL, Fiber.
Woo-Boo. I don't know if they make Woo-Boo anymore, but Woo-Boo was one.
They have a new one, too, that I wanted to try, and I can't think of what the
So any of those things, or the fiber that you spin from them,
anything
can
from
all be
Blue
a part
Moon.
of it. Anything from Blue Moon.
Yeah.
And the variegated, I mentioned it last time. It has to be at least 2 different colors, and they can't be like red and lighter red. Like it has to be
everybody's
two
been
separate
actually
colors.
following through.
Yeah.
And the whole project doesn't have to be variegated, but it needs to be a good chunk. At least I'd say
more than
third to a half.
Yeah. And it's okay if you use a knitting loom or a knitting machine because that is still knitting. Yeah. And you can also crochet, obviously. So, and that we will draw a prize for. It's going to take place March, April. So the first episode in May is when we will draw a winner for that. And for Sheila's, we will draw
first week in
April.
Yeah. Which is coming up soon.
March went by like there was nothing.
And I want to say March's pattern is sponsored by Pat, Looney Hiker.
Oh, Pat, Looney Hiker.
And I will get the complete details. I want to say at least $5, but it might be more.
We'll check into that for you. Also, we are excited. We have a book review from Dragonfly Fibers to do this week.
Yes.
So,
Masterpiece Knits.
Masterpiece Knits. So at the end of the show, during our gossip and innuendo section, we're going to do the book review, and then we will hold a contest. And you have a chance to win it in 2 weeks. Yes. We will draw a winner for the contest in episode 246.
Yay.
All right.
I believe you go first this week.
Okay. On the dance card, I have my Jeck Sock. Look, I got a lot done. I was only halfway to the heel last time, and now I am like halfway to the cuff. I did a lot of work on this. I got a lot of knitting time in it, and a part of that was that I did a lot of sitting and waiting this week. So I had lots of knitting time, which I haven't usually. So it's going really well. The yarn is Fiber Nymph Dye Works, Bounce Base in the Lucky Cat colorway. And for those of you who haven't seen the show before, the Lucky Cat is a Chinese symbol of good luck. And it's those cats that are like this. And that sometimes The
reason I do this is because not all Chinese homes or Asian homes have a lucky cat on their mantle going like this.
Yeah, because they
if
have
it's moving, it means that money's coming in.
Yes. And I love the lucky cat. You know, it's really weird. I found Lily's miniature tiny lucky cat, like as big as my pinky nail in the laundry this week. I was like, lucky cat! It must have been in one of her pockets.
And you got the bonus check this week.
Everything's going good.
There you go.
This is a lucky week for me, people. I have had good luck all week. It's also, I'm partly Irish. It could be the luck of the Irish.
It could be.
I'm doing Jeck Sock. And I've done Jeck Sock. I think this is the 3rd time I've done Jeck. It's a free pattern. It works great for self-striping because it just does a little subtle patterning that doesn't really interfere with the stripes there. I just wanted to finish.
I know.
So, there. It didn't do the thing on the heel. It was close. Look, it was so close. But If I had started it, like, you can see, I ran out of black, like, right there.
Oh.
If I had started it, like, one row sooner, it would have been like that. But you know me, I don't care.
I know.
Also, by the time I realized, I was, like, knitting, and all of a sudden I'm like, I haven't measured it. And I was, like, a little over where I should have started. So I was like, I'm just going to do the heel. So there it is. I did a good job on it so far. I'm very excited. And I've shown this the last 2 weeks, so it's not new, but here's the one that I finished. And you can see how this neatly divided the stripes and the white. This it was so close.
That's
It was
funny.
very close. I could have engineered it, but I was too lazy.
Why bother?
So anyway, that's that. Indigo Frost. I still haven't had the cojones to rip it out.
No?
No. I really need to. I mentioned this last week. This is Indigo Frost, and it is in Dream and Color Classy in the In Vino Veritas colorway. And I have screwed up on the eyelet patterning because at one point somewhere I missed an eyelet. So it's all off. After, like, halfway around, it's off by 2 stitches. I don't know what happened in there, but because there was no yarn over, I think it got screwed up. So I need to rip back to the increase row, which isn't a big deal, except that I just increased to 300 stitches. So it's just like having to do that again. I just feel like I don't want to. So I haven't had the balls to do that yet. But this is what it looks like on... Well, wait, I better make sure I'm not ripping it off the needles.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Where are the needles? Oh, here they are. Oh, I did rip it off the needles a little bit. This is what it looks like so far.
Hold on to your needles. Yeah, it's too short to really get a good look at it.
It's too short to really tell, but it's down farther than this. It's like down to here.
You kind of remind me, we just saw the movie Inside Out.
Yeah.
And Sadness.
Yeah.
Has that sweater with the neck.
Up there.
That's what you just reminded me of.
Yeah. I like the neck because I feel like you could pull it up if you wanted to, if it was like a little chilly. Like if you had to wear it outside. I mostly made this for me to wear in the house, but in the fall I might wear this outside over like a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's still in the holding pattern until I force myself to rip it out. You know that feeling where you're like, I just did all this work. I don't want to undo it. And yet, at the same time, I can't live with it the way that it is. So I have to undo it.
Yeah.
It's just really tough. And I did not work on this week, but I will show it again. Cash Cowl. So pretty. In the Into the World Manchester sock in the double rainbow colorway.
I have 2 skeins of Into the World and I've yet to knit with that.
I love her yarns.
I know, I just haven't knit with that.
I love her colors. She has the same, I think, there are people who like certain shades of colors and they wear them in their clothes a lot, or you'll just see that. There are dyers definitely have like certain tones and preferences, and for whatever reason, Chris from Into the World and I like the same colors because she doesn't have anything, I think, that I haven't said, oh, I love that. She just likes the same tone and hue and combinations that I like. We have the same color sense. It's like we were talking about this a long time ago. Do you remember this? If you went to a deserted island and you didn't know who lived there, but their yarn stash was like laid out,
you could probably figure it out.
Among your friends, you would probably be able to tell based on the colors of the stash whose it was. Because it's like a very... It's a taste thing. It's like what appeals to people, what colors and what... I just think it's interesting. And for whatever reason, Chris and I are like color twins because we like the same colors. So that's all I have on the dance card.
Me, I just have on the dance card a vanilla sock. Cup down. Nothing fancy. Oh, I feel like my shoulder needs to snap. Sorry. You know the feeling?
Yes.
So that's what I feel. My shoulder needs to snap.
I had a frozen shoulder for almost a year. It felt just like that.
Yeah, I've been having the same problem.
I finally, remember
Sorry.
I was having that problem?
I know. I was going to ask you, what'd you do?
It finally got better like a month ago. It took like a year to get better. I did exercises. Go on the internet and look for frozen shoulder exercises.
Yeah, I think when we moved our furniture, so I've been dealing with it since December. I think when we moved our furniture, I did something to it. Anyways, not that you guys want to hear about frozen shoulders right now. This is Opal Cotton. Yeah, Opal Cotton. It's fancy color of 2506, which I've called sherbet because it kind of looks like sherbet.
Yeah, it does.
Orange and lemon or lime or orange sherbet.
Or like mango.
Yeah, a whole bunch of different sherbets. I really like this yarn, and I'm on the second sock. I still have quite a bit left. I will probably be doing those Rose City rollers.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not now, but with them.
I'll put it in here in your future dates.
Just because I have some cotton yarn, and I do like to wear my socks all year round, so I will probably make several of those, hopefully. Keep my fingers crossed, that's what I plan to do. Just to use up my cotton yarn and have socks for the summer.
Cool.
I haven't worn my short socks all winter because...
Why would you when you have long socks?
Exactly. So, yeah, that's all I have on my dance card.
Rate your date. This is the only date I've had, and it's been a long date because I've had it for a couple of weeks. And this is, I already told you what it is, but that's my project half done. My PhD.
And I have a PhD too, so this is my second sock. I've been like whipping out the socks lately.
You have.
For me. I think a lot of it has been that I have had a lot of waiting time, whether it's with an offsite at work or my son's doing swim lessons or just knitting at TV time. So this is my first sock, and I knit, I wove in the ends. So this morning, I think we discussed this last week. For some reason, I don't have a needle in this, and I forgot about it. So this morning when I finished my sock, I just used two of my little...
stitch marker holders?
No, you remember how I got these? The bigger...
Oh, the pins,
The bigger... coilless pins.
Yeah.
I used two of those to keep my sock together. And when I got here, knowing the bag that I had in the car to bring here, knowing I had a needle in there. So this is Zachary's sock. I had him try it on. I knit a little extra. It's a little big for me, just because he is only 12.
Yeah, he'll probably
His feet haven't changed that much, but I can't imagine his feet being 8.5 for the rest of his life. I really don't see
they'll
that.
Probably get bigger.
So, also, if you notice, I did not match these up. So I've come to realize that I only worry about that when I'm...
Well, if somebody was paying me to do it, I would want them to look as...
But I think this type of yarn, it would be really hard to match it up to.
It is.
All the ones that I've knit for other people have been patent croy, so you're using two separate balls.
Something like this where it's a very defined stripe would be easier. That's kind of... It would be hard for you to know which...
I think this matches... Yeah, right here. This matches up right here. But because it's just for my son...
But, if you saw this dark, you wouldn't know which one of these stripes you were in.
No, you'd have to pull the whole thing out.
Yeah.
So, I didn't try and match it up. I didn't even think about it.
And he's going to love them?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't
He's
care.
all excited.
I bet he is.
He is. He's all excited. And Matt. I don't know who Matt is.
Hillary's husband.
Yeah, but...
You don't know who Hillary is.
No, I know who Hillary is.
But they don't know who Hillary is.
But I don't know why I said Matt. Max has been wearing my hat all week. He loves it. He's actually put in a request for another one with the yarn that's coming. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. But
oh, yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Because I really like those colors. I'm like, yes, so do I. That's why I purchased it.
But you could tell him if he cares to save his allowance money or his work money or whatever to buy you yarn to make him a hat, you would be glad to do that. Start planting that seed in his mind.
Well, maybe if I can plant the knitting bug in my son a little bit more, then Zachary can make him hats.
Oh, yeah, because Lily just finished a scarf.
I saw that.
She found it when she was packing up stuff in her room, and she's like, I can't remember how to do this. She was knitting while wearing it.
I saw that.
It's pretty clever.
Haven't we all done that?
Yeah. I'm sure we have.
So, yeah, I'm glad that he likes it. It looks good on him. I asked him if I could take a picture, and he said yes, but I wasn't ready to at the time, so I'm like, I'll take it another time. Of course, since he's been wearing that hat, the other hat I gave him has just been left in the cold. Yeah. Forgotten. Like, whatever. And I realized why Zachary isn't wearing hats.
Why?
He's got too much hair on his head.
Oh, yeah, his head's probably warmer than
yeah.
his brother's head.
Unless it's extremely cold, and it really hasn't been extremely cold, although this weekend it might be.
Yeah, allegedly we're going to have a nor'easter this weekend.
6 to 8 inches, they're saying.
Allegedly. Again, my policy is I'll believe it when I see it happening, because we get burned so many times both ways. Oh, yeah, it's going to be sunny tomorrow and a high of 50. We get a foot of snow. Yeah. Oh, we're having the storm of the century. We get like an inch.
2 inches, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll good to know.
Sunday night into Monday, I think, is what they're saying. We'll see.
It's good to know. I'm glad I don't have to go in the city next Monday.
I'm working, of course. But, so yeah, just the sock, that's half done. So soft and squishy, too.
Whirlwind Romance. I didn't do any spinning because I am, in fact, packing up my spinning stuff because I'm packing up everything in my house that's extraneous so that I can put it on the market. But I did do some work on my scrapbooking, and I am in September of 2012. So
you're going back, right?
I go back. I go from January to December.
No, but I'm saying...
Yeah, I'm going backwards.
Will be 2011.
Yeah. I have 2016 is up to date because I'm doing it as it happens. 2015, 2014, and 2013 are done. In 2012, I have up to September, so I only have like 3 more months of 2012, and then I'll do 2011. So I feel like I could potentially... I want to go back to 2003. I'm not going to go back before the kids were born because I already have a book of that, and there wasn't much pictures happening. The two of you? We didn't. We have a book about the two of us, and that's all we need. It's
called my wedding book.
I actually have a book of me and my husband that I scrapped from the time we were born until the time we met.
Oh, really?
And it has like side by side, like our kindergarten pictures. Okay. Like I did them all. It's really cute.
Kim doesn't have any of that.
Yeah. Well, Jim barely had anything, but I cobbled it together. But I'm going to go back to 2003, and I'm starting to think that I might actually be able to make that happen before the end of the year. Because I'm like, what is it, March? And I've cranked out since December when I got my new software. I've done 4 years worth of scrapbooking. And I'm doing like, I don't know, some weeks I do a lot, some weeks I don't do a lot. But
it depends on your knitting mojo, too.
Digital scrapbooking is so much faster than doing paper scrapbooking. I'm like, I got to sell all my paper scrapbooking stuff. I'm going to put it on eBay.
I was going to see, even if somebody takes it.
Well, even if I pay to sell it for like $1, you know?
Right, just to get rid of it.
So I'm excited about that. But I have not done any other things. I almost pulled out my cross stitch the other day, and then I was like, I can't get involved with that right now. I have to finish anything to avoid knitting on my knitting lately. It's like, what else can I do? I just don't have... I feel like my mojo's going to be better now. I think I had a lot of weight on me.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
I think it's going to be better. So anyway, that's it for Whirlwind Romance. Future dates, I'm going to design a sock out of this yarn, which I showed you last week from Diabolical. It's her watercolor stripes in the Catatonic colorway, and it is so pretty, and I already have an idea right in my head of what I'm going to do. Actually, I have 2 ideas, so I'm going to like swatch for both of them before I... And by swatch, I mean I'm going to knit the toe of the sock, and then I'm going to like do one for an inch and see if I like it.
Well, what you should do when you get to that toe is put a lifeline in, so that if you don't like the design, you just rip it out to that lifeline. So you don't... It's
so easy to pick up a sock. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to swatch for the first one and see how I like it. And if I don't like the effect, I have a backup design idea. And I'm going to write up the pattern before I knit the sock. Oh. Usually I write up the pattern as I knit the sock, but...
I feel bad, but you gave me your copy of that one, and Lois made it, which looks great. And I just don't, because of where I am, pattern stitch socks, like, they got to be simplest of simples.
Exactly.
Just because they have, for me, they have to be completely mindless. And your ribbon candy is not completely mindless.
It's not.
It's nice. It's beautiful.
It's pretty mindless, but it's not completely mindless. This is completely mindless.
And I'm wearing a sock now where I took the Jaywalker and just did half of it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I just did one side of it. That's pretty much completely mindless too. Where if I only have to change one row, you have a little bit more. Not you, but you know what I mean. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, I got all these vanilla socks, but at work I just need it completely.
Well, it's not a qualification to be my friend that you have to knit my patterns. Fortunately for you.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be friends because. Well, no, I've knit some patterns.
You knit some of my patterns.
And the thing is that I just want to say I can knit all of this. I just choose not to. That's not where my mindset is right now. My mindset
totally
because
fine.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, these poor people, all they see is vanilla socks, or garter stitch shawls, which at some point I'll get to that one too. But it's because of my mindset right now.
Well, knitting, as I was saying on Instagram today, knitting is a lifestyle. So it's not a craft. It's a lifestyle, and it should fit your lifestyle. So if you are in a situation where you need to be mindless, that's what you knit. If you're in a situation where you want to be adventurous, then you do something different. Right.
And I was thinking about it because
what it shouldn't be is the hit-a-fude situation where you're hating what you're knitting.
Exactly.
That's not how it's not how it works. Fun. No, it should be like the way you want to live your lifestyle. Like if you're a freewheeling kind of person, then freewheeling knitting. If you're a busy person, well, if you're busy, you don't want to have, fuss and bother. You want to just do something.
No, I'm one of those where it's multitasking. If I can knit and do something else while I'm doing it, like reading, because that helps for me at an offsite. It helps, especially a very slow offsite, helps the time go by. If I can knit a generic sock and read at the same time, before you know it, 2 hours have passed with no patience.
Yeah.
And I need that. Or, swimming all of a sudden. Oh, good, you're done.
Yeah, well, like Karate Day, I always read on my phone while I knit.
And you have a simple pattern,
This is a simple pattern, yeah. I don't have to really look at what I'm doing.
I mean, someday I will, and if any of you want to look at my project page, you can see that I have done some very nice stuff. And someday I have on queue some other very nice stuff, just not there yet.
But the important thing is, it doesn't matter.
No, I enjoy it.
You knit what works for your lifestyle, whatever that is at the time.
And nobody else has to like it.
Well, that's right. You do it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you really do. That's why, I don't know if anyone asks you, but I get a lot of people at work saying, why don't you sell it? Why don't you sell it? Well, because then I wouldn't enjoy it. Yeah, because then I'd feel pressured that I'd have to knit. I don't want to feel pressured that I have to knit.
There is a reason that I don't do obligation knitting very often. And by obligation knitting, I mean deadline knitting, like test knitting, for example, or knitting in a knit-along where you're trying to finish by a certain time. Or I don't remember, I always throw back to this, Podcasters Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I hated doing that, and it wasn't even...
Sorry, Lois.
I liked the idea, and I got prizes and everything, so I was very excited about that.
Oh, you got to meet a really great person, too.
Yeah, Lois is like one of my best friends now. But I hated having to knit something that somebody else picked for me.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed the best that I knit. I did enjoy it. But you're right. See, and it's funny because during that time, I didn't have problems with deadline knitting because I had more free time, so to speak.
Yeah, that's right.
I was working overnights. I could knit 8 hours.
Yeah, and your kids were offset, so a little older than mine at that time. Yeah. But I've never been a fan of obligation knitting, unless I made the obligation.
Right.
Like if I want to knit a baby sweater for my niece, I can pick whatever I want, so I get excited about what I'm making.
And it's in a time frame that you want.
Right, I don't have unless I have to have it before the baby's born.
When I did the socks for my coworker where I was getting paid for them, I felt that there was a deadline. She didn't say there was a deadline, but I felt there was a deadline because she was paying me.
And then you have to finish it.
Right. Where then the coworker sock that I made just to make, to surprise him, which he still loves.
Oh, that's good.
It was my choice. I enjoyed it because there was no pressure.
Right. It wasn't
I didn't
really
feel that I didn't eat. Right. And it was the same sock yarn, different colors, but a whole different feel to it.
I'm just not good at that. The same is for scrapbooking. You can be like a creative team member for people and they give you product and you do sample stuff. Okay. And it's great because you get free products to use, and my friend Diane does it and she gets a lot of free stuff, but I was like, I know that it would totally kill my enjoyment of scrapbooking. So I'm just not, I'm tempted sometimes because there are a couple of people that designs I like, but I'm like, no. And I'm the same way about that as I am about knitting. It's just not, it's better if I just do what I love and not try to force myself to do something else. And that's how you should be.
And right now I'm loving vanilla socks with maybe a hint of something.
Yeah. And that's what you should knit. So, your future dates. You said you were going to do Rose City Rollers.
Rose City Rollers. I also pulled out my next, and I forgot that this is what I pulled out. So I just grabbed a skein of yarn, my next Blue Moon, in my Blue Moon Fiber Arts bag.
Oh, I'm excited to see what you pulled out.
Well, I grabbed it thinking, I don't know if I'm going to continue with it, but I was thinking of a heavier sock.
Yeah.
With maybe a little bit of texture. I was thinking the skip sock.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
But probably not all around the whole way because I think I can do the skip just up the side like I've been doing.
Or just on the front of the sock.
Yeah.
Either way.
With this. Our lovely flush tone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When did we get this?
Somebody, I don't know. I got that somehow.
I like this
I know because I did one of the grab bags.
I knew it came in a grab bag.
Yeah. I think it will knit up better than what it looks like in the skein.
Because wasn't that the time you and Lois both had like weird grab bags where you're like,
But what gets me a little about it is I tried making socks out of heavyweight once before. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work so well. It was very stiff. This feels a little different. I'm going to try it. If not, then it will go back in the stash and I'll pick something else out. And then I'll know that, heavyweight is not, for me, a sock. So I got to figure out what size needle to do.
Yeah, I would treat it like a sport or DK weight sock.
Yeah, 3 or 4 is what I'm looking at. I was thinking the lightweight I do 1.5. The medium weight I do 2. So I figured this would be at least a 3, if not more. So this is maybe my next Blue Moon. Hoping to do like the skip pattern. And then, Rose City Rollers. And at some point I'm at an offsite for almost 1 week coming up. I may actually take my shawl.
I'll try to get that done.
Yeah, because again, that's just garter stitch.
Yeah,
that should be easy to do. And if I'm in the offsite in one place for like a whole week, then I won't mind bringing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to get it done though.
This week we do not have any baubles and bling. Sheila has something that she ordered but hasn't come yet.
No, not yet. And I'll have to probably hide that so my son doesn't somehow
steal it. So no baubles and bling this week. Although I am going on the Knit North yarn crawl tomorrow, and I'm probably going to. I'm probably going to get some notions pouches.
Oh yeah.
Because I do need a few more. I only need a few more. Like I have reached like stasis. If I buy more bags, obviously I'm going to be over the edge again, but so I'm like, but I can always use a few more of those. And Jess told me she made 50, so I was like, that'll probably be enough.
Yeah, well, she has 100 bags and 50 notions. Yeah, I am in the bag.
You didn't say anything, so I forgot you were on
there was really nothing for me to say on that.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't go.
So maybe next week there'll be some baubles and bling. Crushes and heartbreaks. My crush is, after all of the difficulties I've been having with my medical appointments through the weight center, I went in on Monday with like a fire in my belly. I was like, I am going to knock heads. And I straightened everything out.
Good.
well, actually, I didn't know I had straightened everything out. We were skeptical about it. Like, I was with the nutritionist, getting I have an updated nutrition plan. And we what she thought I had to do and what the scheduling lady told me were two different things. So we were skeptical we thought that she was wrong, but I got a call today and she was fine. So I have jumped through all of the hoops that I need to jump through now to go forward in the Weight Center program. So I'm really excited about that. I have a bunch of appointments coming up, but like it's all covered by my insurance now. That has been up in the air until now. So I'm really happy with that. And as we get closer in time, I'll tell you more about that. But I don't want to make this show be about like going to the Weight Center.
Right.
But I do want to talk about it a little bit eventually because I know other people out there struggle with their weight. And I think it's always good to hear from people and the different experiences. It seems like, I don't know, maybe embarrassing or humiliating to go to a medical weight loss program. Like Weight Watchers, it's kind of anonymous or whatever, but like it's like you're admitting that
you have a problem.
But both Sheila and I are in medical-based weight loss programs, and we're both having different. I was just asking her today what her program was like. Ours are completely different,
right?
But completely. But like it's going well. Sheila's losing weight. I've lost weight.
Plateaued.
A drop in the bucket for me, but
yeah, I've plateaued on mine, but
but that happens.
We think we know why.
Yeah, and
it is going to happen. Unfortunately, losing weight is not easy, especially after certain ages. And I also know that I got to kick up the exercise a little bit, and maybe the toning more so than exercise, because I certainly am not sedentary at work. I am not today, but I am not typically a sedentary person when I'm at work. I'm constantly moving.
It's not easy to lose weight if you are prone to being overweight. And that's why these programs are really good support. I don't know if you talk to a therapist, but I actually have a therapist in my program for those times when you need.
They have them. I just haven't.
You can unburden or whatever. And there's a lot of education around it too, so you can see when there is something that you can do to make progress. And when it's times when it's just the way that it is and there's not really anything you can do, because plateaus happen to everybody no matter what, and it's not always something that you're doing. You're doing everything right, and then at that point you have to talk to somebody and switch it up.
Not everything.
Well,
I definitely know where my problems are, and we've talked about it, and mine is more, I've always had more of a mind, or I don't want to say mental issue, but it's definitely, I can't say emotional, but it's definitely a mind issue. We know that we're trying to find something to stop me from just reaching.
Because you eat from your emotions instead of from your stomach,
right?
And my problem is, first of all, I have several health issues and medication issues that are not good that do it. And then I'm just really lazy. I don't eat a lot, but I don't.
What you do eat is not always. Well, no, not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean, I never was a really bad eater. I like fruits and vegetables. The potato chip thing was an issue.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking of too. It's like sometimes you just crave the salt, so you just got to figure out, And my problem is I would just grab it without thinking, and so now we're trying to prevent that.
And oddly enough, my problem was that I didn't eat enough most of the day, and then I would eat a big meal, and that's not a good way to treat your body. Like you can't do that.
You need little portions here and there.
Yeah, I just ate all wrong. Like even when I was eating weight loss level calories, I was eating them all wrong. Like you can't just starve yourself all day and eat dinner. That doesn't work. Your body doesn't respond well.
So for those people who skip breakfast, you can't do that.
Yeah, I am a breakfast skipper, and what I learned from my nutritionist and my medical doctor at the Weight Center is that you train yourself to skip meals.
Yeah.
And you have to train yourself into eating meals, and it takes about 30 days of regularly eating before your body will start sending that hunger signal.
Really?
So, yeah, you have to just, like me, I have to eat breakfast at 7 in the morning. So, even when I'm not hungry, I make breakfast and I eat it. And eventually I start to feel hungry when I wake up. I'm like, oh, I could eat, you know?
See, and for me, just because of time constraints, I don't eat typically until 8:30 in the morning. Just because I'm not going to eat at 3:30 in the morning when I get up.
Well, see, that's, yeah.
And the doctor knows that, so.
Well, and that's why the other great thing about going to a medical weight loss program is that you have a nutritionist and a doctor who like design it towards you. Mm-hmm. Weight Watchers is a really good program. I'm not trashing it. People have lost a lot of weight on that. Spark People, I've lost a lot of weight on Spark People. But Spark People is a general plan.
Right.
That
Weight Watchers is a general plan too. You get a little bit of help, but a medical through the doctors, you get more help.
Well, they know what your underlying conditions are.
Right. Right. Weight Watchers doesn't.
Weight Watchers doesn't know that, and they shouldn't be involved with that because they're not medical people.
Right.
And so, you know, and I think you learn a lot from a medical program about exactly what's going on that's making it hard for you to lose weight. So I will talk to you more about it in the upcoming weeks, but I'm really happy that I straightened everything out. This has been a good week. I won a prize from my scrapbooking website, so I'm very excited about that. And it's just been a good week. Good. So all crushes, no heartbreaks.
Good. For me, crushes and heartbreaks, I'm trying to think. I just got some work coming on. Zachary's got an appointment next week with the cochlear implant people.
Now, is this just a, like,
they're going to look at him, they're going to talk to him, and then I think it's like a consult, and then from there they may do their own eval.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's that. I got to call my stepfather too. We're going to be in his area. So
does he have any feelings about it, or is he not even like really aware?
That's a problem. We've talked to the doctors about this. They're like, "Oh, how much does he know?" I'm like, "He knows nothing." And it's not that he doesn't know it. He does. His mental capacity for it or understanding is just not there.
Because he's very young.
He is.
Intellectually young for his age.
He is. I'd say he's 2 years behind, easily, if not.
Yeah.
And that, you know, we've had some other issues at school about that, too. Right now, we really have to get him into some therapy. His focus isn't there. He's got other issues going on. You know, he's just trying to be nice, and people are seeing it in different ways.
Right.
So, you know, unfortunately with him, you know, even though health-wise he's doing well, physically, there's so much other stuff going on with him because, and I tried to tell this to my husband when God, he was only days old, after his heart issue, after his heart surgery, I just told my husband, I said, you know, this isn't the end of it. Right. And I wasn't even talking about the liver transplant. When you're dealing with,
even on the horizon.
No, when you're dealing with medical issues and you're under so much medication and so much machinery for that young of age, you just know there's going to be other issues. I just knew there was going to be other issues. And I don't want to say mental issues. Again, mental...
It's more like a mental maturity. It's not like he's mentally ill.
No, and you know, he may become... his maturity, mental age, he may at some point match up, and he may not. I mean, I don't think he's, he's just going to be very naive, and unfortunately people take advantage of that, and we have to try and get him to stick up for himself, which he does in certain ways, but at certain times he doesn't. So, you know, we got to get him into, the counselor called me, his guidance counselor called me yesterday, and, I got to get him in. She highly recommends outside counseling. So I got to do that. And, you know, I said to my husband, I said, maybe we all should do that.
Well,
I remember at one point when my mother was going through the divorce and possibly getting remarried that we had a family counseling because it was a lot going on in a family.
You know, and I think it's a good idea, even if it's not ongoing a long time.
No.
Even just initially to get, like, everyone on the same page and get everyone's feelings out. That would be good.
And even to, you know, I told my husband, I said, you know, I don't know where else to go with him. And not in a bad way. It's, I want to help him and I don't know how.
It's like with, my son's attention problems. It's not like we weren't on top of that. He had therapy for his issues, and it just wasn't enough.
Right.
The older he got, the more that gap between normal kids and him was getting.
Well, and that's what we're reaching into. And as much as I keep saying I can do it, I can't.
No,
and I need him to be able to. He feels comfortable with me, and I made him promise because he asked me not to talk to Daddy about certain situations.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, I didn't promise because
you can't.
I can't promise. And I told him, I said, I will not talk to Daddy if you promise me that whatever you're going through, you will tell me.
Yeah.
Just because, he has ups and downs, and I just want to make sure that he will always talk to me. If he's not able to talk to other people, I want him to make sure that he comes to me. He's 12. I get that promise for right now. Who's to say it will last? But
this parenting gig is tough.
Oh my God. Whoever thinks it's easy is crazy.
Does anyone think it's easy?
No.
I don't think most people exist.
So 16-years who don't know any better.
People who don't have children think it's easy.
So, that's a kind of a heartbreak, but I also get my crown on Tuesday.
Well, then you'll be a queen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'll be a poor queen because looks like I have to pay $1,000.
You'll have to give all of the money of the kingdom to get your crown. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
More overtime if I can get it. Right now, overtime is kind of cut off. But
you know what? On the bright side, you have a job where you can get some overtime if you can. It could be worse.
Oh, I agree. Don't get me wrong.
I'm looking on the bright side of things.
If
this had happened like 4 or 5 years ago, it really would have been tough.
I would have had it pulled out. Are you kidding?
So, yay that you're in a position where this is not
I've come to realize, though,
problem.
I should have stuck with Cam's dental insurance. I think my dental insurance sucks compared to his.
Can you go back on his?
Not until next year.
Right, but
we actually have 2 dental insurances, but I don't think his insurance will cover mine because mine doesn't. I thought it would be good, but I don't think it is. I don't know. I'll have to check with the dentist when I go there Tuesday.
I can just say to you, insurance companies suck.
Oh, big time. Yeah, that's beside the point.
Because that's been my whole problem for the last few months is the insurance company.
Well, we've dealt with Zachary's medications through insurance.
Suck.
Yeah, it's a better
insurance
nightmare.
companies, A, and B, those Medco our prescription programs.
See, we go through Caremark and CVS, which
you don't have a choice.
Pretty much I don't either, but it's through CVS Caremark, and it's not the CVS, it's the insurance company, but I can't,
In my case, my insurance coverage for the medication is great, but they never send my stuff out. For 3 times in a row my meds were late, and then this most recent time I was like, haha. So 3 weeks before I was going to run out, I redid it, and it came in 2 days.
Figures. Yeah, no, the other issue I've been having is Zachary gets assistance through Mass Health because he's on my primary insurance, and then we get him on Mass Health because of his disabilities.
Right.
And I thought I was so you have to kind of reapply every year. And I thought I was being smart by faxing it and then sending it. Well, no, because now they had duplicates, and that has caused a whole issue. So we have gone.
Remember the other
3
year
months without,
they lost something.
We've gone 3 months without getting reimbursed, and it's hurting. So Cam and I have to reevaluate our funds to see, because we use that money to pay some bills, our insurance bills and stuff. So we will have to reevaluate because it's been 3 months and I haven't paid it. So yeah, that's what's going on. So other than that,
insurance sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the theme for today. Insurance sucks.
Yeah.
Gossip and Innuendo. We're doing a book review.
So it's Masterpiece Knits.
And it is published by Dragonfly Fibers, who is a dyer in Canada.
Right. Her yarns are gorgeous.
They're gorgeous. I actually saw her in person at Maryland Sheep and Wool last year. Her yarns. I didn't see her well, maybe I did see her personally. I don't know. But her yarns are beautiful. And one of the yarns that they talk about in Masterpiece Knits is it was inspired kind of by her love for a Van Gogh painting, Starry Night, and she did a colorway based on the colors in that painting. And I saw that yarn. They had it at the Sheep and Wool, and it was very pretty. So she's now published with a few different designers doing the patterns. She's come up with colorways based on famous paintings that inspire her. And these designers have designed patterns to go along with these colorways. So if you love Dragonfly Fibers already, you might even
like these patterns.
Like you might have the yarn and you'd be like, now there's the perfect pattern for it. So we were talking about it together.
Excuse me.
Just off the bat, what I love about this book is the inspiration. And they talk about what inspired, and there are a couple of yarns based on my favorite paintings, like Klimt's Tree of Life has that hat and mitten.
All right.
And I love those colors. I think it's really beautiful. It's one of my favorite paintings. And I knew, without even reading, I knew that's what the painting was. So I love that this is based, if you love art, I was thinking Denise would love this, because if you did art history or anything like that, this will be inspiring to you because it's really beautiful. And one of the things that I don't like about it, and Sheila agrees with me, is that I'm not sure why, but this is the first page. So this is in, I would say, like, one-page format.
Right, this is in her Goodreads format program, just so you know.
But the rest of the book is 2 pages. So in order to read the first page, I have it like this, and then I have to turn it sideways. And because there's no line or any kind of a demarcation, sometimes it's confusing to know if what's on the left page is just
So here's an example
skimming.
here. Now mine is based off of the internet because I downloaded or uploaded it, but I haven't put it in my thing. So this here is the notes to the pattern below it.
Right.
This sweater. But it's because of the 2-page format, it looks like it's the notes to go with the shawl.
Right. And I even think if there was like a demarcation line in between, it would seem more like 2 separate pages, because they do this color thing that kind of overlaps both this barb color. So it is a little disorienting to read. I'm much more used to a 1-page format on a reader like this. It doesn't affect the patterns or anything.
No, it's just when you think here's a pretty shawl, let's read the notes. What's it mean it comes in bust size?
Why does it have sleeves? So anyway, the patterns themselves, they're mostly very simple patterns. Yes. Nothing too
complex.
There's some fancy stitches like twisted stitch or whatever, and there is an applied chain stitch on one of the projects that you would do with a yarn needle. But for the most part, these are probably good for any level of knitter, including beginning.
The shawl, and it's funny because you said you weren't crazy about the shape, and I couldn't think of what it reminded me of, the shape. Yeah. It reminds me of an animal fur.
It does look like an animal skin. It's got a weird contoured shape to it. You can kind of see it.
It also reminds me of Begonia by Stephen West. Is it Begonia?
Yeah. It's really, the color of the yarn is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
But the shape, I just don't see how that would look good while you were wearing it. It seems like it would be bunchy on the bottom, but...
It's 5 points, I guess, is a good way of calling it.
It's a 5-point shawl, yeah. I guess it's probably flat if you lay it on the ground, but when they hang it up, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, when they hang it up, it really does look like an animal fur.
And it looks like it would be bunchy. So for that one, I love the colors, but the pattern is just not something that inspires me. Then there's this sweater. Let me see if I can...
Sweater's pretty.
The sweater is... I love the color of the sweater, first of all. And I think it's really pretty. I think the detail down the front is pretty. But for me, and for anybody this goes up to 56-inch bust. But I think it would not be very flattering on people that had a lot going on in the front. I feel like it would emphasize.
Yeah.
In a negative way what's going on in the front. And the other thing that I was telling Sheila I would be concerned about is it has kind of a boat neck shape. And you have to always really watch it for larger sizes that have that wide neck. If they're not graded really carefully, sometimes that neck ends up being so wide you'll end up with like an off-the-shoulder sweater. I always have that problem with bigger sizes. So if you do knit this, either wait for somebody else to knit the size so you can see how it came out, or look at they do give a schematic and actually measure out on your body what it says it'll be, because if it's really wide, you might want to rethink or re-knit that neck.
Or possibly do a smaller size in the neck.
Yeah, and then do a bigger size for the bust. They have a really nice textured stitch sock pattern. The only thing that I like the yarn. I like the pattern, but I think that the variegation in this pattern kind of makes it hard for you to see the pretty texture. It's a twisted stitch cable, and it's very pretty, but it's kind of hard to see. So I think that this is a sock pattern that I might look at knitting someday. It interests me, but I would probably not do it in a heavily variegated sock yarn.
Right, it might be more suited to
other people have different taste, but I think it kind of hides all the work that you did on the stitches. But again, the yarn is really beautiful. And then there are these sock called Clee's Knees, and these are really interesting. The top of the sock is almost like a leg warmer. It's a very bubbly textured stitch. So I think it's interesting, and I personally wouldn't knit these because that's a lot of bulk on your legs. But people who like those thick, cushy, you could slouch them down.
I would knit them, but I probably wouldn't knit them as nice.
I wouldn't knit them that high. But I love the sock yarn color. It's beautiful. And I think that the pattern itself is interesting. I could never knit socks that long. It would kill me. Your mileage may vary. Oh, they have a cute eye of partridge heel.
Makes the colors stand out nice on that.
Wait, what happened to this?
What?
How am I suddenly in single page? How did this happen?
So we may take that back.
Now I'm apparently in...
Must have been the size that you had it at.
Oh.
So we take that back.
Apparently, on Goodreads, if I make it fit one page...
It then becomes single page.
It is doing single page for me.
So.
I'm sorry, Dragonfly Fibers. I did not know that this could have that capability. Good to know. I like it much better in single page format.
And all of a sudden, her reality, or whatever you'd like to say, changes.
What is that commercial? Mind blown.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that commercial where the people's head explodes, but then my mind was just blown. So then she does this hat and mitts. And this is in the colorway that was, I think this is the one. No, maybe that's not the one. Well, there's a hat and a beanie that have these little, like, shapes on them. I can't tell. I thought this was the one that was klimped. Is that the klimped one? I can't. Now
the bits feature an abstract tree motif.
Yeah, Tree of Life. That's klimped, I think. He does those golden toned paintings with lots of gold and yellow. It has matching mitts that have that same tree motif in cable.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's a little hard because sometimes it tells you what the inspiration for the colorway is at the beginning. And then there's always a little blurb at the end. And this one at the beginning didn't mention the colorway until the end. This is a colorway inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe. And this is a scarf. It's basically a garter stitch.
Is it garter stitch? Because I wasn't sure if it was garter stitch or stockinette in the round.
And inversed? Like reverse stockinette?
Yeah.
It says garter stitch. Wait,
but then I'm looking at...
I think it's a tube. Definitely, like it's a tube.
No. It's not.
It's a garter stitch.
It's a garter stitch, which actually would make sense. It looks like it's got color blocks. What do they call that?
Wait, some of it is stockinette and some of it is garter stitch. The color blocks are garter stitch and the rest of it's stockinette. If you pull it up like this, it's hard to see on the photograph. It looks, that's garter and this is stockinette. Okay, so it's mostly stockinette, but those blocks of color in there are garter.
And then it's funny, what is it, intarsia, when you have, because the blocks don't line up to the edge.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what happens. Yes.
So there is some, it's called intarsia, right? Because I've never actually.
I think it's intarsia. It doesn't say.
Some experiences. Nope, wrong pattern.
Okay, well, that has some color work in it because you use color 1 and color 2.
Yeah, to avoid gaps with intarsia blocks of color, try the following.
It is intarsia. Then there's one based on the Marilyn Monroe paintings that Andy Warhol did. I like how vibrant the colors are, but these are not my colors. So I'm not as in love with this.
But it would look gorgeous in contrasting colors.
Oh, I think this is a gorgeous pattern. I really like this pattern. I don't like the color of the yarn on this one. It's like the reverse. But it's a nice textured stitch, and you could do it in a single shade. You could do it in striping like they did. You could do a lot with this pattern. Yeah. It's really pretty.
Next is a tunic.
Yeah, it's a very long... it's a bodycon tunic. It's really kind of like slinky and long. And it's clearly not intended for larger sizes because...
it goes up to what, 48? 44?
Let me see. Wait, I can't find where's the beginning of it. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, they do go up to a 50-inch... Oh, wait, no. They go up to a 48-inch bust. So that's like a 1X or something.
Okay.
But I think this is probably better suited for skinny people. It on this model anyway, it's pretty body conscious, and I think that if you were heavier, it would show everything in a way that
the V-neck in the back. It's a very low back.
Yeah, I don't. Not everybody wants to.
And anyone who's a large-busted woman would not be able to get away with. Your bra strap is
going to show. So it would not be for me. But I think that if you did this pattern with a few modifications and made it more A-line, it could work for a larger size. But that's, again, if you want to... It has kind of a bat wing sleeve thing going on, too. It would be hard for a bigger person to wear and look attractive. So if you're skinny, this would be a great pattern for you. Otherwise, let's see, what else is in here?
They got a hat.
Oh, this is that pretty hat. It's called the Rothko Beret, and I love the colors, and I love the lacy textured stitch. And I like this hat, too. It looks like it's just a slouchy...
Excuse me. The only problem I have with this one is when you read the notes on this one, there is actually a textured stitch to it. The picture does not adequately show that.
Yeah, it's hard to see it anywhere.
I see it at the very top right here.
Oh, but it's hard to see in the picture. It would be nice to have a detail picture of that so that you could see what you were doing.
But I love the color of the yarns. The yarn is gorgeous.
Yeah, I think the yarn is gorgeous. I like this. It's called Sheaves, and it's a really pretty... what would you call this? It's not quite a poncho, and it's not quite a cowl.
It's some sort of capelet, maybe?
Capelet. As I said to Sheila about this, it's pretty. I think it's gorgeous. But unless you're a stick figure, it's going to inch up on you.
Yeah.
Every time you do this with your arms, unless it's really loose, every time you do this, it's going to bunch up around your neck. So if it would work for you, I think it's gorgeous. Or if you even made it more like a cowl and, instead of shaping the shoulders, you just made a tube of the design, it would be really pretty. But it's not a style that is going to work on every shape and size, which is always something that we evaluate for. It does come up to size extra large, but I always find when I try to knit something like this, and I've done it several times, that if you're big and you do this, it just bunches.
Yeah. You're going to be constantly pulling it down.
You're constantly pulling it down. So take that in with a grain of salt. But the yarn color and the pattern itself is beautiful. I would definitely knit that for something like my daughter, who's a stick figure. And then we both really like the style of this sweater. We think it's pretty, but we think that it's hard to tell how pretty this is because it kind of competes with the
yarn is the
variegation in the yarn.
Yeah, overpowering, I guess.
This has some beautiful textured stitches and directional stitches in it that make it a really cute sweater. But it kind of gets lost. And I don't know, maybe if you just really love the sort of painterly aspect of this, then that would work for you. But I think this would be prettier in a less variegated yarn. But I would knit this sweater. I think the sweater could work on a lot of different shapes and sizes. And it does go up to a 58-inch bust. So they do have it for... This is a good sweater.
It's one of those sweaters that when not clasped, the front would hang a little lower, which is in style right now.
And it's got kind of... You can't see it because it's too white. It has kind of an A-line shape to it if you look at the schematic. So that's flattering to all sizes, which I really like to see.
They have a hat to match.
Yep, and that's also really pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's very pretty.
I like the yarn in that hat. I think because it's fewer stitches around, it's less stripy.
Yes.
So it's easier to see what's going on. And then I really am intrigued by this cowl. You knit the cowl and then you apply a chain stitch in the lattice design on it, which I think is really pretty, but Sheila and I both agreed we don't want to do the
It's applied by a needle.
It just sounds like a lot of work. But it's so pretty, and I love it's knit out of bulky yarn, and I just love the colors.
Colors are absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful. I have to get some Dragonfly yarn, is what I'm thinking. They do have an abbreviation section at the back, and they tell you the story of Dragonfly Fibers, which I always like reading about stuff like that. So, if you already like her stuff, this would be great for you. It would suit any level of knitter. There's not a lot of really complicated stuff in here, so I think there's plenty in here that a beginning knitter could do.
Yeah, the hats and the socks are
exactly. They're not that challenging. You can get this if you don't. We're going to have a contest, obviously, and I'm going to have you tell me which pattern you would knit if you got this. But if you don't want to wait, you can buy it. You can buy a hardcover book from the Dragonfly Fibers website for $26.95, and that includes a code that will let you download for free the ebook version. So you'd have a hard copy, but you'd also have the ebook version so you could put it on, your device. Or you can buy it for $18 and just get the ebook on Ravelry. So some people like to have that hardcover book, but you also like to have the portability of the pattern.
It works out great when you get both.
Yeah, so you can check that out. And I want to thank Dragonfly Fibers for sponsoring the contest and sending us this to review.
I'd like to make the hat, the one that I like. I forget the name of it.
The lacy one?
No, the bluish one. The one with the slip stitches that I said. Oh, yeah.
I like that one, too.
See, my older brother likes hats, but he's more into textured hats where...
There's definitely stuff in here that I would knit. I really like that lattice. That was my son shooting a Nerf gun, so that's kind of like a sign saying we should wrap this up. Go in the thread and tell me which pattern you'd knit, and we're going to draw a winner in episode 246. Also, don't forget this weekend is Knit North. If you live in Massachusetts area, it starts. Actually, it already started, right?
Started
yesterday. And goes through Sunday, and from 10 to 4 on Saturday, Stitched by Jessalou is going to be at
Salem. It's in Salem. Stitch Circles?
Circle of Stitches.
Circle of Stitches.
At 66 Wharf Street in Salem. Doing a trunk show. And she's going to have 100 bags and 50
notion bags. And she's there 10 to 4?
10 to 4. And I'm definitely going to go see her at the end of that time. And
if I can talk myself out of going someplace, I might be there too.
yeah, you could meet us up.
There's
lots of good places to eat in Salem.
Yeah, we'll see.
We could go to the Salem Brewery. That's a nice. Is that what it's called?
I have no idea.
I can't remember. Anyway, they have those French fries that are really good.
Oh, all right, everyone. Thank you for watching us this week. We'll see you next week. Knit with Heart.
Bye.